Noam, to come to you, you've been at the intellectual cutting edge, I think, of the progressive debate in Israel, and your writings and what you've achieved in putting together at 972 have certainly carried to the debate here. Liberal Zionism, the Zionist camp, is that a framing that talks to how you see Israel's way forward and Israel's problems? We haven't discussed here inclusivity. The Joint List, third largest party in Israel today. Where does that fit in our little liberal Zionist conversation b'toch ha'mishpacha?
Well, to be honest, until I started reading and writing English, I didn't know the term liberal Zionism. Because, I don't know, there's no Hebrew translation and there's no Hebrew equivalent. We don't have liberal Zionist, we have Zionist left. And the left and liberal is not exactly the same thing. Like, historically, the liberal forces in Israel until the 70s were, except for Ratz, which deserve its credit, were the Likud party that fought for personal freedoms, and the left was rather authoritarian and socialist in its nature. And for me, it's clear that a lot of the debate over the liberal Zionist ideology is an American conversation that is designed to bridge the gap between a liberal community and an illiberal idea of an ethnic state, a state that views citizens through their ethnicity. And that's okay, only that this ideology ran into a crisis right now. But it's not the same crisis that we have in Israel. In Israel, there's a political crisis on the left. Here, there's an ideological crisis. And you think that by solving the political crisis, you'll solve the ideological crisis. I'm not that certain on that specific point. But to the point, we're speaking about leaving our comfort zone, and I agree that this is a moment of urgency. But it is not a moment of urgency because of Netanyahu's speech in Congress. That's only politic. The one word that wasn't mentioned in here was Gaza. And the problem is Gaza. And what the Israeli public chose is another Gaza. And I think people should understand that. And I think stepping out of the comfort zone is not talking about Netanyahu. I think attacking Netanyahu is easy for everyone on this panel and for everyone in this room. I think that we should discuss the position we took about Gaza, the position Labor took, the position this organization took, and I feel from the responses they get that the public is ready, that our public is ready for this debate. I think people want to hear this debate. And this is the real failure of leadership that Peter is speaking about. It's not a failure of leadership that has to do with ideological obstruction. It's a failure of leadership that results in action that horrifies us as human beings. And the issue that we should be discussing today is not about how to elect the left and how to solve liberal Zionism, and even how to create, to make it more convenient for American Jews to identify with Israel. Israel will be what it will be. An American Jewish community has its own path, and they might identify with each other and they might not. But America has opened its bunkers for Israel when Israel ran out of shells in the middle of the war. And I think this is what we need to be discussing in this room. And to be honest, in this day, I didn't hear a lot of talk about that.